Welcome everybody. We are here today to make some yogurt. We're excited to get started with our how-to series of videos, and we thought we'd start off with the thing that I make the most of. We make so much yogurt around here. So without further ado, getting started, you can use raw milk or you can use store-bought milk, whatever fat content you want. You can use skim milk or reduced fat or whole milk if you want. I go ahead and skim off the cream. We get raw milk, so I skim off the cream and use that to make butter. But basically with yogurt, you only need 2 ingredients, which is wonderful. And you need milk and you need a yogurt starter, which you can also get at the store, which I'll get into later. But for right now, all we're going to do is heat the milk. I put it in jars as kind of like a double boiler thing. I know some people do it just in the pots. You can pour the milk directly into a pot, and that's fine too. I've never done it that way, so I really couldn't tell you how to do it, but I pour it into into jars here like this, and just put it in a pot with some water and cook it heat it until it gets to 180 degrees. This allows especially for raw milk, it makes sure that any kind of beneficial bacteria which is in the milk, it will kill it obviously, but if you leave it in there, it will compete with the yogurt bacteria and it will win every time, and then you'll have really runny yogurt. So don't do that. You have to heat it to 180 degrees. I just bring it over here and fill the pot with water. And then heat it to 180 degrees. And then we'll come back after it's 180 degrees and I'll tell you what to do next. Alright, shalom. Okay, one more thing I forgot to say. With the water, you don't fill it up all the way. You just fill it to about half the jar. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the water is just about right there on the jars. So you don't have to worry. And I don't cover it. I don't cover the jars or the pots. And if you need to use a candy thermometer or anything else, you just leave it in there. It usually takes about, I guess, 30 to 40 minutes to reach 180 degrees. Honestly, I never really even check the temperature. It starts to form like a skin on the top of the milk, and I can just tell when it's ready. But for right now, use a candy thermometer or whatever you have, and get it up to 180 degrees. All right, thank you. All right, y'all, we're back, and the milk has formed a skin on it, and so it's about 180 degrees, so it's ready to be taken out. So we're gonna go ahead and use these canning tools and set them over here on a towel, let them cool down. They have to be about 110 degrees before we can add the yogurt starter, and so we're gonna let them sit there for about an hour to 2 hours or so. I'm not really sure. So we add the yogurt starter, and we'll come back for that. But for right now, just set them out there and put their lids on. And you'll know they're about 110 degrees when you can actually touch the jar and not burn your hand. It's kind of just like a warm. It's not hot. So right now it's really hot. You don't want to touch them now. So we'll come back when they are 110 degrees. Shalom. Okay, we're back, and the yogurt or the milk is about 100 degrees. We let it go just a little bit too long. It's been about 2 hours, and now we're gonna go ahead and put the starter in it and put it in the cooler, and it's gonna incubate for about 8 to 9 hours. So I'll walk you through that. So first of all, we're going to take yogurt. I should have gotten some from the store, but I used just the yogurt that I made from last week. You can do that after you make your first batch. But to initially get you started, you'll want to get just a little tub of Greek yogurt.
Plain.
Oikos, is that what it's called? I think just a little tub of plain yogurt, no sugar in it. And you can use that the first time, and then after that, you can use your starter. You probably want to refresh it about every 3 or 4 times because it'll start getting a little runnier. Basically what you do is you're going to want to take the a little skin off of each jar. And I gotta get a full. Quick. So you want to take that off. I just take a spoon and just kind of scrape it off there. And plop it in there. Some people eat that. I don't really do that, but it's edible. So it just scrapes off there, and then put that aside. And you're going to take 2 tablespoons of the starter and drop it in each one. Just 2. And the longer you let your yogurt incubate, the more sour it's going to be. But also the more healthier it's going to be, the more bacteria you'll get to grow in there, and just a lot healthier. So, and the 2 tablespoons doesn't have to be exact. It works with a little bit more, a little bit less, but it's good to have a little guide to go by. Then you take something, stir it, and just make sure it distributes the starter throughout the yogurt. You can kind of bring it up a little bit and make sure there's no chunks in there. There's a little bit of chunk. Stir each one. And while I'm doing this, also I've got this pot that I use to heat the milk. Initially, I've filled it back up with water about up to there, and I've got it heating again because we're going to use that in the cooler. So just to streamline things a little bit. And also I set the yogurt out just a little bit before to kind of get it a little warmer than the refrigerator temperature, because it will cool down the milk. When you put in the 2 tablespoons, it tends to cool it down a little bit. Alright, so I think I'm still chunks in this one. Okay, so then you just put the tops on all of them, and you're going to put them in a cooler. I just set a towel in there with a little heating hot pad in the center. Kind of cover them up like that. And do the other 2 on the other side. And then, very carefully, put the hot water in the middle. Right there. And then you lift the lid and you shut it. And that's going to sit in there for about 8 or 9 hours. And when it's done, well, I'm just going to walk you through it because we're not going to do the third part because it's going to take 8 or 9 hours, and by then it'll be the next day. So what you do is you take it out, you put it in your freezer for about 1 hour, and then you're going to take it out of your freezer and put it in your fridge. It'll be ready to eat. If you don't put it in the freezer, it will be pretty runny. So we found that out the hard way. And also, if you leave it in your freezer for too long, it will explode. So don't do that. We always set the timer. We have to set the timer because I will absolutely forget it every time. Trying to think what else. I can show you how to turn it into Greek yogurt too. You just strain off the whey. That's usually what I do with it. Once it is in the refrigerator for a little bit, I'll strain off the whey, and then we'll have some yummy Greek yogurt. It's plain, so you'll have to add sweetener. You can add honey, or my daughter likes to add jelly, or stevia, or whatever else you want. You can add fruit, and it's really good. And you can make almost a gallon for about $6. So figure the price of milk is between $4 and $5, and then the yogurt's about $1. So it's usually under $6. You can make about a gallon of yogurt, and it is so much better than store-bought, I think. My kids might disagree. I think it's great. and it's so much healthier, and hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Shalom.